Okay, we should be live again now, guys. Um, I've gone and changed it over to a different encoder. So, ideally, is it going to work? That seems better. So, okay, this should be a bit better now. I've gone and I've ditched I've ditched the hardware encoder on here just to try and get us a little bit of a less choppy stream. I think that's the goal here. So I'm using software encoder now. That's on my CPU on my laptop, which again it's an undertaxed CPU, so it should be fine. We'll see. I was gonna have this performance open quick, see what it tells me. Yeah, I'm gonna delete the VODs of the stuff that is basically like test Eric. Is it less choppy now? Like, is it cutting out? This is the important thing. Is it cutting out? Is it choppy? Or is it the audio that's cutting out? I need more specifics on what's cutting out. If it's audio, I can turn it down. Okay. And most of the audio. Yeah, that might be how I've got the audio set up. If it's just audio, Eric, let me try it. Let me try a little something here. Is that any better? You're a bit grainy, but it's good. Yeah, it's going to be grainy, Alex. It's not going to be perfect. It's on my laptop. We're just gonna we're just gonna run with it as is, and we'll wing it. This isn't going to be the best quality stream in the world. The actual content and show you we'll go with the. So we have got camera angle 1. If it chooses to work, it's not working. It is working. Okay. So this is camera angle 1. This is going to be like your main build cam today. Nice little. You think my mic's doing it? Um, Let me try something quick. Let me do something here. Let me do something, Eric. I do have another mic. This sat right next to me. 1 second here. Let's see. Is it going to mess stuff up now? It is, yeah. Okay, now it's telling me off of that. Can you hear the extra audio from this cam? Yeah, you can. I need to mute that. Thank you for saying that. As I said, Eric, I've got to sort stuff out here, so it's going to be a little bit like that. I'm just testing something to fix this. Right. Is it going to let me use this mic now? Yeah, okay. We'll just have to deal with the audio, guys. I really do apologise. It's not perfect. Again, it wasn't very easy for me to go and do a test here for this. Oh, you've got no audio from that now. Okay, there you go. You should be able to hear a little bit of background music. I don't care if you don't get a load. Anyway, this isn't going to be perfect. We already know it's not going to be perfect. We're here to build a PC. That's what we're here to do, isn't it? We're here to have a good time, build a PC, and enjoy ourselves. So, as I was saying, this is camera angle 1, right? This is going to be a downward on this camera. This is going to be your main one. What music? You can't hear music. Great. Okay, you should be able to hear something now. I don't know. You should hear it now. It's only meant to be quiet in the background for reasons, and it's copyright-free stuff because I don't have my VOD set up on this. Okay, so that's camera angle 1. Camera angle 2 is one we introduced the stream on, I think. No, it's not. It's this one. I need to move that away because that's not plugged in. So yeah, this is camera angle 2. This is going to be sort of my direct talking to chat sort of camera, I guess. You know, if I need to sit down a little bit, this is going to be my other camera angle. Hello, Teagues, how you doing? Yeah, so this is camera angle 2. And then we've got camera angle 3, which is the one we introduced the stream on, the one up here. This is going to be the one we move around. Again, going to get some different angles. While I'm doing cable management, I'll sort of show off my cable management with this camera, because I can move it. That is the coverage of the cameras though. Shall we switch back over to camera angle 1, and we will have a look at the motherboard. I'm going to unbox this. I haven't actually... All I've done is cut the tape on it. That's all I've done with this. I've not opened this motherboard. You're okay? Oh, okay is better than not okay, I guess. So, for specifics on this motherboard, this is the MSI B550 Gaming Plus board. It's got Wi-Fi on it, and that's, you know, it's a bit of an upgrade from what I had before in terms of chipset. So do we have anything in this box? We have got the Wi-Fi antenna, which is pretty much the same as the old one from my old Asus. Which I'm probably going to use this one because it's in a better state than my old Asus one. We're going to put this over here though, just over on my coffee table. It's behind me. My whole living room and my whole kitchen is basically like a parts bin at the minute, so I'm going to be all over the place. Just excuse my craziness. So yeah, that's okay. That's just a box. I'm probably gonna put my old motherboard in this box just because it's. I want to compare the size actually as well. Let's pull this out. My old motherboard's over here. I just want to do. I'm gonna do something quick. So this is my old Asus B550 board, and this is the new one. They're about the same size, so that is normal. I'm gonna get some gloves out quick, just because with this being all new stuff, I kind of want to. I don't want to get my finger nice and clean, you know. So give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna get some latex gloves on. Now, I'm going to say this now, the one thing that won't work on the stream today will be things like sound bites. So, point redemptions for sound bites. Eric, your job today is going to be to refund points for those if someone redeems them. Just because they don't work, I don't have that set up on the stream. I've not set that up for good reason. This is, a temp setup. I'm guessing you're EP, Teagues. I'm guessing you're very EP. Right, blue gloves on. Don't use sound bites. Yep, that's it. Don't use sound bites today. Thank you, Eric. I said, like, all the other stuff, so follow sounds, following, subs, all that normal stuff should still work. We do have chat on screen, so the plan is when we are done today, I'm going to upload this to YouTube directly. That's where it's going to be going, so I can link it in my... my build when you do exclamation mark specs, you can link it there. Also, if you want to know what the specs for the new build are, either in my about me section below the stream or the exclamation mark specs command should get you everything. So you shouldn't quack right now. Nah, Tiggs, it won't work. You'd be a quack to use that. I have hydrated, look. I've got bad apple. Eric likes bad apple. Had actual apple juice in it, by the way. Right, let's get this thing unbagged from this sheath of anti-static. I'm actually going to put my old motherboard straight back into this bag, I think. What am I touching there? I don't know. Have I got to cut this open? I think I do. You gotta excuse me, guys. It's been about 6 years since I have, 5 years even, since I've opened up a new motherboard. Tiggs, we've warned you. I'm gonna say if we've warned you, you're not gonna get your points back for it. So that is the lovely new motherboard. I'm just gonna go and put this over by my old motherboard because that will be put into that and put into the motherboard box later on. Now, one thing people normally say to do as a recommendation is build like your basic PC on the motherboard box and then put it in the case and test it on the motherboard box. The only reason I'm not going to do that is because I'm lazy and I'm going to do it the way you shouldn't do it. Big disclaimer. I'm going to go on to Cam 2 whilst I do this big disclaimer, right? I am not a professional PC builder. I'm wearing the gloves, look, but that's just because I don't want to mess up my nice new build. Do not do as I do sometimes here. I can do this, look, I can get a nice little halo above me. Yeah, don't do as I do in some cases. You're gonna be an ass. Yeah, Eric. I might have to mute you. Well, Eric, I'm gonna be very frank with you right now. I will never wear one of those because most modern components have protection against it. Components are nowhere near as sensitive. If, like, for instance, with your, you know, with like your classic console stuff, then yeah, wear anti-static stuff. But for this sort of stuff, it should be okay. Now, so that's our nice fancy non. Okay. So we're gonna get an SSD in here first, I think. I've got a nice little quick latch. I do like. Start off with. I'm gonna start off with my OS SSD. So this is a nice little Kingston Fury for you guys, so you can see what I'm doing here. Not Cam 3, Cam 2 even. No, Cam 3. Cam 1. There we go. So I'm getting confused by my own camera layout now. So this is my Kingston Fury 1 terabyte drive. This is my main OS drive. It's a Gen 4. Nothing fancy about it. I've run it for, I think I've run this one for about a year and a half now. I'm not sure. I can't remember when I got this. I bought it used. I know that. It's just my main OS drive. I do plan on putting a third drive on this board at some point soon. I think I'm gonna get another. I'm gonna potentially get a Gen 5. So things will get reshuffled a little bit. I think I want to get like a 2 terabyte Gen 5, put the OS onto the Gen 5, and then use this one as like my game drive, and then the other one as like a media drive sort of thing. That just goes into there. And then there's a little latch here. Which way does this latch go? Goes that way. Nice. Now, about to say MSIY. They put a little block on here, look. On the thermal pad. Put that to the side for a minute. Not on the board. And which way did it go? It went this way, didn't it? Yes, it goes this way. So this latches over. Yeah, it goes over the little nubbins there. So that is the lovely heat spreader on for the main drive there. And then I think these things are just like simple clip things. I'm not sure how they work. Yes, they are. Okay. And then this is our Additor, just it's a Gen 3 basic drive that we're using. Alex, what do you do? What did Alex do? What's Alex doing? Alex, what are you doing, sir? I don't trust you. So yeah, this is just like our main like storage drive for games and stuff at the minute. That's gonna be again moved around a little bit. He did he. Okay. And this should be toolless. How does this work? I don't know how to use this installation tool thing. Oh, okay, it works like that. Okay, cool. That's nice. That's neat. Yeah, I was just asking what you did, Alex, but don't worry. Okay, so that's SSDs in the board. Nice and easy stuff. Now, I need to open the box up a little bit more and see if put that in this now, just because I don't know if that rubber nubbin's needed for anything. The reason I want to find the manual is just because in a minute we will put in it. So we'll put the CPU in a minute, and then we'll put the RAM in. I just need the manual for the RAM installation. What else have we got in this box as well? I was gonna check these. What's this? Shout out. Okay, that's just show your MSI experience. Don't care about that. That go back in here. We've got spare little nubbin thing. These are actually pretty cool. I like these. I wish more motherboards had these. So these are little nubbins that you just press. It's like a clip release clip thing. I'm going to put this over here to my right hand side. What's that? Is that the RGB stuff? I think it is. Yeah, that's RGB stuff that I probably won't ever use because I use IQ Link. If you guys didn't know, I like my IQ Link stuff. That's I'll be getting IQ Link RGB lights for this eventually. That just like light up the strip inside the case. SATA cable, which I will never use because I don't use SATA anymore, and quick installation guide. So what I need, I just need the RAM diagram. Then the front panel connectors. Oh, what's that? Oh, that's the tool for putting in the nubbins. Don't need that as well because I've got a standoff installation tool in my box of stuff. So that's regulatory guide. We don't care about that because I am not in the European Union. This is what I need. Ah. So normally, I'm just going to open this up just to be safe. Where's the... I'm struggling today, guys. I'm not going to lie. There may be a bit of tiredness in Luke. So, installation guide. It doesn't tell me what RAM slots to use, does it? Great. Well done, MS. The manual on my laptop, so I've got it somewhere. I'll reference that in a minute. Just put that to a side as well. Yeah, Eric. I mean, Eric, I tried and I couldn't, so it's kind of on me. Right. I'm not Linus Tech Tips, so I'm not going to drop this, don't worry. Let's go like that. So, we need to remove the CPU covers here. I've got a special bag for those over here somewhere from my last build. I've got a nice little AMD bag here. It's just labelled AMD. It's what the covers from my old motherboard went into. Just putting the same thing back in it. It's nice and easy. I am repping Wera tools. I do like my Wera stuff. Make some of the best tools on the planet. And I don't have a LCT screwdriver. I'm not a big fan of ratchet screwdrivers for PC building. I'm not gonna lie. I'm more traditional with my screwdrivers. I do have like a quick ratchet screwdriver thing that also can go 90 degrees for more torque, but I tend to use that for like Allen use, not hardcore Phillips use. Now this motherboard's got something I didn't have on my old motherboard, which is it's got this little header here for the internal, the front panel USB-C. My old board didn't have that. And whilst we're here, we're going to install our standoffs for our cooler, because I don't want that backboard falling out. A little pot of bolts here. Should be 4 of those. Where's the other one? Oh, there it is. I am blind. So these should go, I think they go to the coarse thread side into the motherboard. Yes, they do. Now, unfortunately, I don't have an offset mount for this, and I was going to get myself the put my head in the way. I'm going to do that a few times, guys, just to yell at me if you're not getting a good view. Yeah, so I don't have an offset mount. I was going to order a thermal grizzly thing that goes on here, the CPU guard thing, but again, it kind of was one of those. I had one of those thoughts of like, do I really need that? No, I don't. Right, next step I'm going to say is we need to get the CPU ready. Time. I haven't actually done it on AM5, so... Okay, let's up like that. I'm used to the Intel ones that's slightly different when it comes to LGA boards. But it is what it is. Anyway, we have got this bad boy. This is my AMD Ryzen 9 9900X that I picked up today. So it's basically 2 generations newer than my old CPU. I think I had an option for. I didn't put the last standoff in. Damn. Did have the option for an X3D chip, but it was a Ryzen 7 and it was a generation older, and I thought I'd rather go for more cores. I think I've got a bit of a use case for the cores. So I decided to go down this route instead. Now, triangle is where I might get in the way, guys. Triangle's in this top right corner here. Triangle on the CPU's there. So drop it in and give it a little wiggle. That's the little trick I've always known. Give it a little wiggle before you close it back up. This should just pop out like the old. Well, I got this on properly because it feels like I've got a lot of pressure there. I'm gonna take a guess at yes. It's just meant to have a lot of pressure on it. Yeah, that's right. I can see it's right. It's one of those nerve-wracking things. I've not done an AM5 build before, so some things might feel a little bit off to me. Again, general rule of thumb is be very gentle, which I am trying to be. Alright, that can go... Might be able to fit in there, I don't know. Yeah, I had to hold myself for a second there, Eric. Again, not that I don't trust myself, it's just more of one of those things of... It's a brand new CPU. Well, it's a new to me CPU. It's a lot of money. I don't want to break it, and we're going to put that in the CPU box because that is a safe place for it, and I'm keeping the CPU box. Okay, that is CPU now in the board. I just need to fold out that a little bit. I'll put this over here. And I'm actually not going to put the memory in yet. I'm going to put this into the board, into the case next. So we're going to move this over to somewhere else where it's safe, and we're going to bring up the case. So if you guys don't know, I am running a Fractal North case. This is a very nice looking case. And we do have an ad break about to start, guys. I'd say we're doing the boring bits at the minute, where we're just putting the motherboard in the case. I might take a little bit of break myself. Josh, how are you? Long time no see, sir. As we're building a new PC. Right, I need to find where I put the screws. I had a set of brand new screws, I think, for this. Here they are. I've got a brand new set of screws to go in the motherboard. So I'll check they are the right ones. I think they are because they came with a case. They are there. Yeah, these are the right ones. And I've already dropped one. I need a seatbelt? What do you mean I need a seatbelt, Eric? Okay, they're right. For all the power you're about to get? Yeah, there's a lot of power here. Right. So this is time for the small screwdriver. The big one can go away. Now what I love about this case is, you guys can't see it on the camera, but there's a little nub in here that helps locate the motherboard. Amazing feature. An absolute amazing feature. Okay, motherboard's going in. Here we go, ready? And I actually quite like the silver. I thought it was white. The Amazon listing made it look white. I like the silver. It adds a little bit of definition to the back of the case. Okay, that is seated where it needs to be. And again, I might be getting in the way here a little bit. This is one of those cases where I will have to. Now these don't need to be ungodly tight. I've learnt that over the years. You know, you want them tight so your motherboard doesn't fall out, but why the gloves? It's more just so I don't smudge up the nice new components with my fingers than anything else. There's no special reason why. Literally just so I don't smudge the PC. Especially when I put the glass on later. Right, I'm gonna get the one I hate. This is one where I'm gonna have to look maybe in the way, guys. It's the top corner. I've had issues with this standoff before, I think. I'm pretty sure this one doesn't screw in. Oh no, it's in. I don't know why. Both. This is my both PC, Josh. I don't have a stream PC, a dedicated one. Although I could use this laptop, I think I've proven today this laptop. The 4070 didn't like streaming the content. I think because it's a laptop 4070, it didn't like it very much. I'm using CPU encoders just to try and get this to work nicely, so that it's not as laggy. It's been stable with CPU encoders actually, software. Just shows when you've got a lot of cores, you can brute force. Right, in a minute I'm going to have a critical decision to make. That's going to be whether I do the radiator here and whether I do the fans on in between the radiator and the fan filter at the front, or if I put them in the back. I'm going to have to put my vertical mount in and just sort of assess. These are critical choices early on in the build that, you know, can affect it. So if the fans are too close to the GPU, I'll probably put them in the front, just because the last thing I want is to impede airflow. You know, 2 inches makes a lot of difference if you can get it. That is something to clip, by the way, I guess. Here we go. Okay, that is all the motherboard screws in. Now to put the now just dry fit the vertical GPU mount. So this should sit about here. And then that cable just sort of sits into there. I'm not going to install that. I do want to put a screw into this so it doesn't keep falling on me. Should have one for it. Just want to get a stand off for the GPU as well, quick, so I can hold that in place nicely. So, if you guys haven't seen it before, this is my GPU. It's an MSI RTX 5070 Ti Shadow 3X OC. That's a mouthful. It's all on my spec sheet, so you know, if you want to know the exact list of components I'm running, I put on there. I was going to do a PC part picker list, but I kind of felt that that would be a bit. You know, I'd rather just do it. Price is going to be different no matter where you live for these things, so I'd just rather have it be a nice, easy list. It's going to be a bit awkward to get in, isn't it? Myself, have I? That's 'cause it's not in properly, that's why. Thank you, Eric. It's not. It's already updated, Eric. I did it off stream, sir, because I am a professional. It's got the old list in there, and it's got the new one. Can't remember how I put this in. That's right. I'm in the wrong fucking hole. I said this is just a bit of a dry fit to figure out CPU cooler configuration. So that isn't like perfectly mounted in. That's not going to be as stable as it should be. In fact, let's put the other screw in there just to make that safer. Should be a special type there. Where are all those gone? I'm missing a couple of screws, I think, of a particular type. Well, I've made my first boo-boo there and dropped the screw right in the case. There it is. It's gonna happen. Fiddly screws, PCs. Started by hand, that's the trick. Okay, now that's in, we can get the CPU cooler over here. And the fans that go with it. And we can figure something out quick. So, first configuration is with them on the inside. Will it fit nicely? Okay, there's not enough space there. I can tell you that without having to put in much further. There's not going to be a lot of space. That, basically, the gap that I'm seeing here between the GPU and the cooler is just too small of a gap. I'd rather not do that. So these are going to be mounted on the on the other side like this, how they were before, with the radiator right up against them, through screws going holding it all together. Remember that. We're not going to install this just yet. Got to take the GPU back out now. Because next up is going to be the RAM. Okay, that's out. Put this over here again. So we'll go and swap the camera over whilst we do a bit of research on the configuration here. I'm going to go to cam 2. No, we're going to go to cam 1. That's what I want. What build number is this for you? Let me think here. Oh, that's the wrong camera. 3. There we are. So, is the camera going to work? It might be a bit laggy. Just give it a moment, guys. It will work eventually. If I go to 2 to 3 again. There we go. Now it's working. Yeah, so my first build was right out of what's happening with my GPU. 1 second, Alex. I'm just going to answer Josh's question here. So, first build when I finished school. Then I'd sort of say my second build was around when I was in college. Third build then was in college. So I'd say 3.5 was about 2 years ago, 3 years ago. I'm gonna say this is fourth, like version 4, like build for. I was just sort of test fitting my GPU and trying to figure out how I want my cooler oriented, because I don't want the fans too close to the GPU, because again it's going to defeat the airflow. It's just going to be blowing air, trying to blow air against the back of the GPU, which you don't want. So I'm putting the fans in the front radiator. Then there's going to be about a 1-inch gap between the radiator and the GPU, which helps with airflow. Unfortunately, I don't have the North XL, which would probably help a little bit here. Anyway, I just need to check on the RAM slots. It's normally going to be, so we've got DIMM A1 and DIMM B1. So on the MSI, it might be closest to the CPU socket. So this is why you always reference your manual and your compatibility guides, because of course every motherboard vendor will do it slightly differently. I'm not an expert on building PCs. I'm a hobbyist at best. That's right, the way I like to say it. I know what I'm doing with a PC build, but my biggest thing that I always do is I read the fucking manual. So I just need to go onto MSI and find out. I think I've got it open here. Nope, that's Amazon. That's the one I want. So when it loads, it might take a minute to load because my CPU is basically being used for the stream right now. So you might be able to tell when things, because it'll be a little bit choppy. Right, I want support. And we want, when it loads, manual and document. And I just want to load this page up quick. I'm just going to kneel down for a second, guys. So I'm going to drop you over to Cam 2 whilst I do this bit. And I specifically want the memory config. So I want dim A2 and dim B2. That's what I want. So we'll go back to Cam 1. Let's get fucked up. Has Alex got booze? Oh, you're talking about my booze over here. Yeah. I've got plenty of booze there, but I am not getting fucked up. I have work tomorrow. I cannot get fucked up. As much as I wish. If something breaks, I might get a little fucked up. But I'm hoping everything goes as it should. Right. So, we want dim A2 and dim B2. So, oh, it actually tells me on here. I should have looked at that first. But, you know, always check your manual. That's my advice. So, the RAM is, if I can get it on camera, it is Lexar Thor Z. It's 32 gigs worth, so there's two 16 gig sticks, and it runs at 6,000 megahertz CL38 memory. Again, this wasn't the cheapest I could go for. This is basically what was available at the store. I kind of literally walked in, I saw they had the CPU I wanted, and they had some DDR5 and the speed and capacity I wanted. So it was more of a, they've got it, than a, I could save a little bit of cash. And by save a little bit, it's only like $20 difference, £20 difference between the kit I wanted. Now, direction-wise, I need to flip it the other way. Sticker goes inside. That's one stick in. I heard both clicks. You guys probably don't. The mic's not got that great fidelity. Wait, is that in? That is seated, yeah, it is. It's just out of a clip. It's right. So it's just the way the RAM slots are on this board. I do see where it's clipping in, so I am fine. Okay, that is the RAM fully seated. So, we do have a very basic system that would run there, because we've got a CPU that's got graphics drivers on it. We've got memory. We've got storage. We're not going to stop there. We're going to finish building the rest of it. I think the next thing I really need to do is start a bit of cable management here. Start getting a bit of cabling in. So, this is where camera angles are going to get a bit funky, guys. We'll probably go to cam, I think we're going to cam 1, or cam 2 even, or we'll do cam 3, just because it's going to be a bit more of an upright bit here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to angle this down a bit. That way you can sort of see what I'm doing. Not exactly going to see what I'm doing, but I'll try and do it like this, so you can maybe get an idea. I don't know how we'll do this. Give me a second, I can figure this out. If I move this, I'm gonna go on to cam 2 temporarily whilst we do this, just so you guys don't get motion sick. And we'll go back to cam 3 and see how that looks. That works. I guess that works a little bit. Again, I can't. It'd be great if I had an idea, like a camera person here to actually like hold cameras for me and move stuff around. I'm not that professional. I don't have the money to hire someone to do that for me. My drink over here now. So I think we're going to start off with the case connectors. So just want to get them to the general location. So let's start off with HD audio, which don't use, but it's nice to have as a backup. Where's that going? Inside. That is it. That one. It's the one with like a little U in it. Yeah, it's right at the end there. I see it. Would be nice to have one of those motherboards with all the connectors on the back, but this case doesn't support that, so that can route nicely along the back side here. Now, cable management. I mean, you have a person, yeah, but you'll ask this again since you did not pay attention. On, yeah, go on, ask again, Alex. I'll try and answer, sir. You better be tight. What do you mean you better be tight? Cable management? I mean, my cable management is not perfect. The GPU, what happened? Okay, so I don't have enough room to have my fans on the inside of the inside of the radiator, right? So I had my GPU. I did a test fit with my GPU to figure out where to put the fans for my radiator. Whether I put them on this side of the case or whether I put them on this side, because of like just the clearance between the fans and the GPU. You know, I don't want them to be up against the GPU because then it just defeats all the air. There's nowhere for the airflow to go, right? Cables be tight. We'll see. We'll see what happens with my cables. I've got some zip ties. I've got some bits with me. I am not the world's greatest cable manager. I am not going to claim to be. Right. USB 3. There's a nice neat header here I'm going to use. I'm not going to use the one at the bottom. I'm going to use one that's here. It's a right angle. Just pull some bits to a side. So my power supply in this case is a Corsair Corsair RM1000 shift, which means the cables are actually facing that way out the power supply. I'll try and get you guys an angle in a minute with that. This is not facing the nice direction. Back. I might be able to get this in. This is the bit I don't like. I have actually broken a USB 3 header before. On my first MSI board, actually. I don't have a good. Okay, that works. I can make that neat. And then we've got the last one, which I've never used before, which is the 3.1 header. This one's going to be a bitch to cable manage, isn't it? How am I going to make that look neat? 30 volt. This says PD, power delivery. I could use. Question: do I do that, or do I do one above? Come out into here. I'll do that. I can cable tie it to the thingy. Yeah, that's the one that doesn't look very good. I wish they did those on 90 degrees. Like, why have it stick up like that? Alex said he's going to grade my cable management. He can if he wants to. Again, this is my PC, so I don't. I mean, it's what I care about, right? If I'm satisfied with it, that's what matters. And all those can just sort of tuck up there like that. You can't see it at the minute, but I've got a rough idea where those need to go. That will tie up against there like that. Now just front panel. Where's the front panel connector on the case? It is JEP, I think. MSI like to move things around. This is my problem with MSI boards. Don't know where I'm looking. I might be on the far side over here. I think it is actually. Let me just have a look in the old manual here for a second. JFP1, so it's this one over here in this corner. Now, can I get this up nicely over here? Oh, I can use this little hole here to tuck it in. Neat. And what do we have? We have got power switch, and what's the other one? I think the other one's my power LED. So it's top plus minus. This is like what I think is the worst header in the world. Who designed these headers? They deserve to be killed. Go for it, then Luke will remove both of you. Yeah, both of you will get removed. Alex, my COC, he's legally got to be in here. Okay, that's power LED on, and then power switch doesn't matter polarity because it's just a switch. Yeah, whoever's designed the front panel connectors has a special place on this earth. I'm going to say that. Right, this box can go away now. That's the memory. That go in my cupboard with all the other my GPU boxes. So don't get Tez in here. She lurking? Yeah. Right, where did I put the CPU box? That's a question. Where am I putting stuff? I am losing my plot. Oh, it's there. Yep, Luke's already lost the plot. Right. Now this motherboard's got an extra 6-pin at the bottom of it. I don't know whether I should use it or not. Not 8-pin even. It's got a PCIe supplementary. I think I am going to plug that in. I don't know if it's worth it or not, but... Next I want CPU power. There's my CPU. There we go. That's my CPU connector. So let me flip this around a little bit. Ugh. So that's coming from here up to here, basically. Yeah, that's what I mean. Front panel is the worst thing about a computer. Now this, there's a little SSD panel here that I use to cover up this. So I'll put that in a second once I've put these plugs in. So I want PCIe/CPU. There's plenty of these actually. I'm gonna put them over here just because these are. Actually, I'll put them here because it's a nice little simple spot for them. Okay, and this kind of just folds up underneath there, like it did before. So this doesn't need like zip ties or anything, it kind of just folds up in there. It's out of the way then. Let me just put the little cover over that, which I'll go and grab. I'm using a AIO or a fan. AIO, Alex. I have a Corsair IQ Link one. I will be installing that in a minute. I'm just finishing up some stuff here. Who is that? Reckon your mum. I guess thank you for the follow there. I don't recognise who you are. So that go that way. Yeah, it goes that way. That is like normally used for 2. SATA SSDs. I just use it to cover up my cables because it's neat. It looks good when you do it like that. So that just simply goes in there like that. What am I doing? Sorry guys, I'm moving it out of the way. Right, we're gonna get the 24 pin in now. So, of course, goes over here somewhere through this connector. Works for one of your many backup people. Ah, okay. I didn't recognise the name, Alex. I was like, oh, is that is that something I don't recognise? You know. Um. All right, that cable into there. Come on, in you go. Lovely stuff. And then should just have another one. Oh no, it goes into there. You can see it clearly goes into there. I do like this power supply, but it can just be a little bit fiddly in some places. Now yours. Alright. Scratch? Oh, it's a scratch, that's fine. That's from the that's from a 3090 I bought that broke. Right. That's the main motherboard connectors in. We're just gonna get the I'm gonna get the PCIe connectors in, just so that they're there and done, so I can get the back panel on the case. Actually, no. Leave it on. Leave it off for now. We're not going to do cable. We're not going to do hardcore cable management until we know it's working. I think that's the safe bet. So I've got this one is for the IQ Link hub. I might repurpose that for the supplementary power as well. Let me see if I can make this look neat. Oh, I can, yeah, I can make that work. That just goes up here. Rec. Josh is just a snarky person in general. Love you, Josh. I know what you're saying there, Alex. I prefer to do them as intake at the front of the case. So I have my radiator up front, intake it with intakes coming in, and I have an extra intake at the back here, and then exhaust at the top, so all the heat is escaping. Doing it in the configuration I do it, the GPU gets fresh air from the back of the case, and a little bit of ambient from the radiator up front, and it all gets shot upwards straight out the top of the case, which helps keep my GPU temps. I mean, in practice, my GPU never got above 70 degrees, and same my CPU. It's a bit of preference. I can't actually put my radiator up top either because my radiator is a 360mm. I only can put it in the front of the case. It's more about configuration of fans than it is about orientation a lot of the time. A mistake a lot of people would make is they'd put intake on top and intake up front and then one single exhaust out back, and they'd basically be over pressurizing their case. The way I'm doing it, it should vent the heat rises and gets out the case. And you've got a fresh fan here to help. Reckon Mum with 1,350 biddies. Thank you, sir. I do appreciate that. That's going to go into the new SSD fund. That's going to replace the drive on this. That'll be coming next month. That won't be done on stream. I'm not going to be doing a build stream on replacing an SSD. Anyway, what was I doing? I was going to need PCIe cables in. That's what I was doing. That's going to be a bit of a faff, I think. I think I can make them reach. It's just positioning with the cooler. This bit here. So this motherboard's got like a supplemental PCIe positioning thing, like on the bottom of the board. I'm not too bothered about this cable because it's going to be hidden behind the GPU, but is that in? That's in. Okay, cool. That goes there, and then this cable just needs to plug in to one of the PCIe power connectors that's down here. That one, and that provides power to my IQ dock as well. Now, this is the side that's going to get a little bit, you know, crammed. But I should be able to cable tie most of this together, and it should look okay. Again, it's got a basement on it, so you're not going to see most of this cabling. The radiator luckily blocks some of it off. I'm hoping it's going to look good when I'm done. Right, that's the IQ Hub's power though. I need to figure out where I'm putting the IQ Hub. I think it's going at the top here, like where I put it before. But it might have to go down here, depending on room. We'll see in a minute. But let's get the radiator in next. I think that's going to be the big next move. Because we need to do the IQ fans. So I'm going to need the radiator screws. All billion of them. I'm going to swap this back over to cam 1 for this bit of this build. And very soon will be the CPU paste application, which is a bit where people might judge me on how I do mine, but hey, as long as there's enough there, it should be good. Let's actually see if there's a specific pattern on here quick. Yeah, I think I'm going to do the X method with a couple of dots. That's how I like to do it. It's not an over lathering, but it should be enough. That'll come once we've got the cooler in. So, what's special about this cooler is the fans go in with their own cable. I just need to put the fan cable on, which is down here somewhere. So these are IQ Link fans, so they all... Are you an X or a dot person? I use a hybrid method, Alex. So I do a thin X, and I do a little dot in the gaps of the X to try and help sort of spread the paste out a little bit. I did that on my old CPU and never had any issues. I mean, you could do a big dot, but you might not get the corners of the die. That's what you've got to be careful with AM5, I believe, with the way the chipset's spread out a little bit more. And it, of course, sits down here or something like that. I can't remember fully. So I'm just going to do an X with some dots in the corners just to try and help give it a good spread. Alright, just loosely place that down here for a minute. And I need to get the radiator up here. Now I've got some more cables that I need to put in with this in a second. Let's loosely do these for now. Get the 4 corners and then get the rest in. That's why that won't fix. I need to move this cable. Do I need a bigger cable for this? Oh, I'll go around the other way. That's what I think what I did. No. One second, I've got to figure out the cable for these fans. I think I need the longer cable for these. I'm not sure. I am. This is where I've got a little bit of struggle. Watching these with no ideas what these big words are being said. Yeah, I get it. I get it. I once would have been like that myself. I should figure out what cable I need here. Do I have more long IQ Link cables here? Let me see. Is that one? That one. Just move things around a little bit and get a bit more room. Now we're cooking with steam. You can't really see what I'm doing right now because I'm right at the front here, but all I'm doing is just putting the last screws in. Now I've got the radiator where I want it, and then I'm going to put the IQ Link cables in. And I've got a few cables I need to send around the back for the cooler. There's a USB-C cable for the control of the LCD screen, and then there's a IQ Link cable that goes around the back for the IQ hub that controls all the fan speed, controls all the RGB of the fans on the case.
So now that's done, I can plug this in over here. And this cable is not a big deal. It kind of hides out the way once it's in. I'm just going to put it over here a little bit, actually. So I've got to figure out, remember the orientation of the screen. I'm pretty sure it's this way. Yes, it is that way. Have the Corsair logo up the top. I remember that. So that there, that's where I've got to figure out a little bit of cable. Oh, that doesn't matter, that's going to not interfere at all. That just plugs in there. That's not going to have any cable management to it, really. It's just going to sort of sit there. It's not really something you're going to notice much, especially once the cover panel is here. And we just need to send the link cable from that to the back, which we'll do once we get the CPU cooler on. I think that's the next bit, is get the cooler block onto the actual CPU. So the nerve-wracking bit, I guess. So thermal paste I'm using is Arctic. Oh, dropping it. Line of shock tips, basically. I'm using Arctic MX6 thermal paste. Decent thermal compound. It's one of the ones that I'd recommend personally. Another good one is, I guess, Thermal Grizzly. That's another good one that you can use. I personally like Arctic. I've used their stuff for a while now. I've never had issues. I've never had overheating from A, the spread I use, to B, the consistency it comes out. It does spread really well. So I am doing an X. And I'm going for a nice sort of semi-thick line here. Try not to spread it onto the PCB. To put a little dot on either end there. That's probably a little bit too much, but we'll find out. It's one of those things that people judge, so I need the hold down screws though for the cooler. Little grub nuts. Now this goes this way. I already know that, and then it just sits on top. It already had the correct mounting brackets on it because I was running AM4 before, and the AM4, AM5 brackets on most coolers are the same. It's very slightly different spacing, but they just size. Now, trick here is not to over tighten these, but you want them tight. These brackets are designed to have a little bit of a spring to them, so it doesn't overdo it. But again, do yourself an X pattern, and when it starts getting tight on the screwdriver, then maybe do about a quarter turn. You don't need a lot. I'm doing an X pattern, like you would with your lug nuts on your car. Okay, that's nice and tight. Should be no wiggling. And if I look at the side, I'll be able to see if there's any spillage of CPU paste, which I don't see, which is perfect. Right. This is the bit where the angles are going to get a bit awkward again, guys, because I'm going to stand the case back up, right, because I need to do a little bit more work round back on the cable management. So we're going to switch over to cam 3. Is it going to work? It's being slow. We'll go to cam 2, then cam 3 again. There we go. Now it works. I'm learning the tricks, guys. I'm learning the tricks of these cameras. Rotate that a little bit. So that is the cooler on. I could start it, but I don't have a IQ hub in, so we're going to just get the rest of the fans in. There's no point in trying to start it until would get all the stuff that I want in it. Some people would say, "Oh, you should start it at this point." I could agree, but I'm basically gonna get all the basic wires in, get it started, make sure it works, and then after it works, that's when I'll button up the cable management. So next, I need to get the cable from the cooler, the top of the cooler, and the USB cable for that round the back. So I need this cable here. This also has the USB cable for the IQ hub, which I'm going to bring around with me. So this is my IQ hub. It's over here. This is the little box that controls all my fans and my RGB. That's also got a TAC cable. So this cable is quite important. This is basically a fan cable with one wire that goes to the motherboard. So that needs to go to my CPU fan header. And I need to get the hub in a decent position with where the power can reach. So that's probably going to go down at the bottom here. You guys can't see it at the minute. And these hubs are magnetic. It's one of the great things about them. Now this might not be happy with the CPU fan when it starts up the first time. I had that issue before because it's a different cable. It doesn't know what it's doing with it. It's just a TAC cable. Because again, the AIO pump gets its own power through the IQ system. Just a little bit different. Now, do I have a cable long enough to reach that? That's the question now. I think I might have to use one of these. So, this is a white cable. This is what I've got available to me. And that's not going to work. It's going to do that. I need to do it the other way. No, I can't use that. Great. Oh, I might have to reconfigure things a little bit here, guys. Just based on what availability I have for power connectors.
can use the white cable from that. Because that shouldn't be seen. I think I've got those the right way. Yes, I do. I want them about there. Now, fan screws are the worst screws ever invented. Don't know how other people feel about them. I really don't like them. They're just annoying to get seated and like in nicely. That's in. Snagging my glove already. That's the wrong screw. Now, I don't have screws left over, so I opened up a new pack of screws for the motherboard, and I put the old motherboard screws in the same container, just because I wanted to put fresh screws on the motherboard for a good reason. I most of mine were mismatched. I was like, yeah, I want nice, neat screws. Again, somewhat fresh build. Gotta use some fresh bits here and there. Like I spent most of my day cleaning components because I was like, I just want it to look fresh again. I mean, some people have seen pictures of it before with some of the dust. It's not bad, but it's not great. I got to get a custom dust filter made for this back panel here, so that it covers up where there's intake. That's like the worst part for the dust at the minute. Then we just want to get this last fan. Where did I put it? Oh, it's here. This one is an intake, so it needs to go this way, and that goes in this area here. So I just put the IQ cable on that, and the other fan. This is another fiddly bit, is getting these IQ cables in this sort of position. But again, one neat cable between fans, I love it. It's one of the reasons why I went to an IQ system. And what I do is push this up here, and that's in that wire. Basically, you can't see it when it's installed. Screwdriver, big one. So chat, how's everyone's days been going? I mean, I know I've been focusing on my build and talked to myself a lot, but how are you guys? How are you guys doing? I do hope you're all well and enjoying yourselves. A lot of PC building is very boring, so... Ad. Thank you, Eric. I didn't realise there was an ad coming up, sir. It's a bit annoying because it's right around the time when I'm asking you guys how you're doing. But guys, adverts have helped support building this PC, so you are going to get them. I have shortened them for the duration of this stream, just to make sure that, you know, they're not interrupting the PC build as much.
because it's a very boring stream. I don't want to, I don't want to serve you guys tons of adverts. I've got to turn down the density a little bit. It'll go back up to normal after this stream, but it's what it is. Right, that top bit can go back on now because I don't need to. Actually, no, we'll leave that. Won't put any beauty panels on yet. So that's all the fans wired in. So now I can put those into the hub. So I guess we want to. How do I want to put this one in? Probably like that. So I've got to figure out where to put stuff. Where's the USB cable for that? It is here. My gripe about IQ, right, is these hubs use USB micro B when I could use USB-C like the Radiator does. My only real gripe about what is otherwise actually pretty nice ecosystem, like fan hubs and stuff. I'm just gonna wedge in there like that, so we can get enough slack on this to tie it up. That could go there like that, and then these just need to come in here. I think some of this is going to get what I call back panel smush, where it gets smushed in place by the back panel. To look neat. Something here's a bit bulbous. Okay, that might work. That might not obstruct. We'll see. We'll see when we put the back panel on, won't we? And the only reason I'm focused on that little bit of cable management is just because I need it for trying to get stuff in where it goes. And we've got this nice little USB Type A split thing here for the iCUE devices. So they run off a single header. If I just fuck that up, no, just a bit awkward. And where's the USB-B connector in here? Not B. USB 2.0 header. That's what I'm thinking. I think it's it's down there. Okay, so we need to go and get this through here, through the void, and into where it belongs. Okay, that is fans wired in. I just got to put the hub in, and then we can put the GPU in. Most of the cable management actually sorts itself out with this case, which I do like. A lot of it just gets shoved in the bottom, out of the way, where you can't see it. So I need this GPU power connector, and I need another one for the PCI Express power. That's what I need. I just need a nice single one though. So I've got an old connector here from my old graphics card that had like 4 power connectors because it's a beast. I cable managed quite awkwardly to make it look nice. So I literally just need a singular 8-pin on its own, which I have. Very nice. It's almost like Corsair planned out this hub to go in it. So this just needs to go into here. And this just goes in over here somewhere. Most of this is going to get just zip tied together so it will look neater. I say neat. Yeah, neater than it is. We'll do that once we know it's running and working. Right now, it's get the GPU cable in. It's roughly where we want it, which will be if I put it through here. Because we're at that point now where I think it's almost time for a test run. I've got to get the GPU in. Which means I need to clear off the side here of the desk. Almost moment of truth, guys. Almost moment of truth here. I'm going to move this. I'm going to switch you back to webcam 2 for a bit whilst I move this webcam back over. Just because I want this one on when we're doing the test fire of the PC. So yeah, GPU needs to go in, which we can actually switch to webcam 1 for, I guess. So we do that. And stuff's over here for that. Where that USB 3 header's sitting. How did this go in before? I think it went down here. There it goes in like that. Not got a lot of screws left, that's a good sign. I know which ones should be left as well, because where did I put my little screwdriver? Where have I put that? Is it on my chair? Yes, it is on my chair. He says like an idiot. Got a ping somewhere, let me just check this, guys. And this in here. This bracket adjusted a little bit. I think it needs to go about there. Okay. Graphics card goes in now. The last component, really. And then we can test fire it. I think we get a fresh drink for this in a second. I've got much of this left. I've got a little bit. Yep. This is the last component. What's in the way? Cooler cables. Cooler pipes. Put those up out the way. Move the power cable out the way for a minute. It's going to get annoying. Hello, Otterhound. You join right at the right moment there, sir. Because I am just putting the GPU in. I just put the retention screws in for it. And then we are about to do a test fire of the PC. Just need these two screws. Two very awkwardly positioned screws, I should add. Right, a little awkward screw goes in here. Once again, guys, I know the stream quality isn't the greatest today. It might be a bit stuttery, it might be a bit off. Cameras aren't always the greatest quality on some of them. It's just the way we've got things set up to do this PC build stream. That's more down to what I have available to me resource-wise. My laptop isn't the most powerful thing in the world. It's a laptop. It does have good components in it. It's just a laptop still. Right, and this is the last little bit. I'm going to stand the PC up, and you're not going to see me plug this in because I've just got to make sure it's right. And I'll put it out the way in a minute. Okay, that is seated correctly. I don't think I was seating for a second. I was like, oh, please seat properly because of what it is. Okay. We're not going to worry about the rest of the cable management right now. We're going to just put some things to the side and we're going to plug this baby in and test it. See if it runs right. I need this USB stick. That's got drivers and stuff on it for the board. I am not doing a BIOS flash right now. I literally just want to plug this thing in now and test it. So I need to dig out some USB here. I need the keyboard USB. That needs to go in the drawer because I don't need that one now. Right, we want that cable there. Or display port. I'm trying to. I just whacked a load of cables down there, that's annoying. That's right, I think I can reach what I need. Mainly these two that I need for the keyboard and mouse. And I'm tucking between awkward angles here, guys, so glad that you don't have the camera on this. No, the power cable, which is all the way down there. Great. Oh. Okay, let's go ahead and change the camera over to 3. Is it going to work? Nope. I have to hit cam 2 button actually, Eric. Cam 3, right, this is the one we want. Let me pull my keyboard to a side. Where's my mouse? My mouse is here. Power button needs to go on. Now, unlike my old board, this thing doesn't have anything else. All the fans are on, that's a good sign. Cooler's on, RGB RAM's lit up. Now it's going to do a couple of BIOS training cycles, I think. I need to turn this monitor on, it should be on automatically. All the RGB's on. The inside's actually a little bit more lit up than it used to be. I think it's the silver of the motherboard kind of helps like make it stand out a little bit more. Right, I'm going to pull the chair over because you know, I'm probably going to miss it going to BIOS, aren't I? We want F2. Ah, it's going to load into Windows. Right, it's booting into Windows, guys. That's a good sign. I've got custom MSI boot screen there as well. Right. I'm going to have to restart this again. But it started up. That's a good sign. Did you do your hydrate? I did actually just do a hydrate, Eric, but I'm going to open up a fresh can in a second as a celebration for this working. Or seemingly working. It's just been a little bit slow at the moment. It's just getting devices ready. I might need to restart it again. It's going to have to reconfigure itself. My main thing is we're going to just get it. We're going to button up the cable management in a second, which will be unplugging it again. And then I'm going to do a bit of a... I'm putting quick on F2 here. Then we'll be doing a quick... Oh, I was meant to do F2. I'm an idiot. It's actually booted into Windows, which is a good sign. Well, it's been a little bit... Again, it's been a little bit slow because it's... Again, first boot with a new motherboard. It's going to be slow. Yeah, Sammy updates are underway now. Things whisper quiet though, like that's what I love about this system, this setup. everything should be on auto, which is resize bar is enabled. OC Explore, okay, leave that is. X3D gaming mode we don't want on because we don't have an X3D chip. Leave that all on auto. PBO on auto, that's all we want. Alex, you do a bit of you've dabbled with Ryzen AMD AM5 a little bit more than me. Anything you'd recommend me to look at in BIOS, sir? By the looks of things, that most things to me looks like it should. I mean, a lot of things are set out the box for, especially for a gaming board. It should be set up for gaming, but I just want to make sure. In fact, I think we're going to be okay. Right. What I need to do now is I need to get the Wi-Fi antenna installed. We need to reboot and get the cable management finished, and then we need to get booted into Windows. So that's what we're going to do next. And what we're going to do is we're going to actually end it once I have finished buttoning up the cable management and that in the case, just because at that point I think the build's done. The rest of it's just behind the scenes stuff I need to do, like removing old Asus drivers, putting all the MSI stuff on it, making sure I'm probably going to run a benchmark or two just to make sure that it's running as it should do, and then I'll be going to sleep myself. So we'll get this turned off and finish this bit. I want to do save changes and reboot. Okie dokie. And we'll boot it into Windows. I'm going to let it boot into Windows. XP01 enable. Make sure you turn your RAM and yep. BIOS update. Yeah. So that's my plan, Alex. I'm up and off stream. I'm going to get the BIOS updated. At the minute I've got all the drivers loaded on my thumbstick at the minute. Just to get all the network drivers and all that lot on there. Just so I've got a basic running system, and then I'm going to do the BIOS flash, which isn't hard. I know how to do that. I've done it too many times before. And then, guys, next stream will be Wednesday. Wednesday will be the first official stream with the new PC, new build. So we'll do a bit of a stress test then as well when we stream and try it out. I have to load into the test server myself in a bit and just make sure that it loads in FiveM and runs at a smooth frame rate. That's my big thing. I might actually don't know if I'll use a private server for that as well. But it's got to reboot a few times before I can turn it off now. Just Windows configuring everything. I actually wanted to do a Windows update before I finished it. Be right if you need that. Yep. Cheers, Alex. Said I'm just going to finish up the last few bits. I think it's having a bit of a moment now. Oh, that's loose. I think it just needs to do a little bit of a reboot. I need to get it to boot into Windows now. That's the big thing. There we go, that's Windows. I'm going to tilt this away so you guys don't get a glimpse of anything that you shouldn't. I might have to do something here. Let me try. Right. I know what I need to do. I need to do something very quickly. It doesn't have chipset drivers, does it? Right. I'm going to have to... The stream might go down here, guys. Actually, I could do this. No, I could do this when when I finish the stream. Now, you know it boots to Windows. This is all, so it needs me to get window internet for this. So I need to swap the network cable back from my laptop to the PC. So we'll do the cable management. I'm gonna end the stream, and then we'll you guys will probably catch me next on Wednesday when we actually do the full stream with this thing set up. Just let this shut down. It might also do a few more updates to actually install the chipset drivers. Right. Right, let's push this to a side. Cable management, I'm going to just turn it off whilst we're doing it. I'm opening up a fresh drink in a minute. I'm sorry, I meant to do it, Eric. I'm, at that point now where I want to get this thing buttoned up and running full time. So, cable management now, the last little bits of it. And in all fairness, I might not take a picture of this because I really don't want to. Oh, my chair's getting stuck on my rug. Okay, so this needs to kind of go along here like that, I think. Chuck it down with everything else in the bottom. I think I'm just going to do the whole shove it in the basement thing. Because in all fairness, there's nothing down there. You can't see it from the outside, the way it's set up. So I think that's going to do. I can put the back panel on this now. Yeah, we're going to get the back panel on it. And we get the top panel as well whilst we're here. That's on nicely. Front panel next. This is the signature piece of the Fractal North, the nice walnut front piece. That fits very nicely. We've got what I call the beauty panel that goes on next. Down here. Now I need to put the PCIe Express bracket back in on the back side of the case. That's one of these. This one just slots in here just to cover up this top bit. And that is a very clean looking PC if you don't ask me. Let's get this back on. What we'll do is we'll plug the power cable in so you guys can see it with RGB running before we end up the stream. So there we go. Give it a second, the RGB will come on. 3. I'll give you guys a bit of a view. And that is the PC. Rebuilt with new components. I do like the way that the RGB kind of reflects off the heatsink of the motherboard and the VRMs there. And yeah, that is it running, guys. We'll go ahead and go back to cam 2 here, and I want to say a big thank you everyone who came out today for the PC build stream. We're coming up on almost 2 hours exactly. That's a really good going for me, I think. Going from parts splayed out across the living room to a running PC. Of course, there's a lot of work I've got to do in the background to get this thing working properly. But guys, I'll do that behind the scenes, and I'll have a running PC hopefully for Wednesday, when we'll do a nice little stream. Thank you everyone who's come out today. I love you all, I appreciate you all, and I will see you next time. This is going to end pretty abruptly because, again, I don't have things set up as I should. So, goodbye guys. I see you next week when this thing hopefully is ready to stream on. Goodbye. And to those watching on YouTube, I appreciate you all coming out. And yeah, keep code to Twitch. You'll see more live content here on this PC that we've just built.